and we have got a great guest today. We have got Dr. Nestor F. de la Cruz-Muñoz, M.D. I love the way that just rolls out, Nestor. He's the chief of the division of endoscopic and bariatric surgery. He's the co-director of the Center of Excellence for Laparoendoscopic and I've got the easy word.
Minimally invasive surgery.
I love it, man. I got the hard word right. He's associate professor of the DeWitt Doherty Family Department of Surgery at the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine. Dr. de la Cruz-Muñoz is also the medical director for the bariatric surgery at the University of Miami Hospital, part of UHealth. Oh my gosh, I'm a bad boy. University of Miami Health System. My phone went off. It's my bad. Juan, I get the applause this time. That was me. Now, Doctor, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jim, for having me. I'm glad to follow such a personal growth day that you had yesterday. So.
Yes, I had a very big personal growth day. You are absolutely amazing. Thank you for following in on the fun and energy, and as I thank my friend David Charlin. Now, questions that I have for you, because I've got more than just one. Talk to us about the rising rate of obesity and what it means for our population. And don't just talk about the people on the cruise ships.
Sure. Well, we're seeing more and more obesity in the last decade. And I think the problem is that humans evolved in a time of food famine or lack of food. And now all of a sudden, not only have we figured out how to have other people farm for us, but we figured out how to get them to bring it to our cars so we don't even have to get out of the car. Food has become much more calorie dense, and it's changing its composition from what we were probably raised to eat or evolved to eat. And all those things have made changes in our bodies that are making us eat more and more food, and that's why we're seeing more obesity this last few decades.
I'm sure television doesn't exactly hurt the process.
Now, I mean, environment is a huge role in it. There's environment, there's increased stress, a lot of things that we're seeing, yeah.
Okay, well, what's bariatric surgery, and what are the different procedures? Because I have no idea. Is it the same as lap band?
So lap band is one of them.
Okay.
There are three main types of bariatric surgery being done in the U.S. right now. The lap bands, or adjustable gastric bands, where you make the stomach smaller by putting an adjustable ring around the top of it. The gastric sleeves, where you're resecting or taking out part of the stomach and leaving a small tube of stomach behind. And then the gastric bypass, where you're doing a bypass of a large part of the stomach with part of the intestines and changing other anatomy.
Now, wait a minute. Isn't the stomach the repository of many nerves and other systems of the body? And if you're taking it out, doesn't that impact the way the body reacts? And I'm just not talking about digestion. There's other things that come out of that system, right?
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, those are actually some of the beneficial changes after these surgeries. So we got to think of the GI tract as an organ like other organs, and somehow these surgeries are improving its function compared to how it's doing with the food that we're eating now.
Okay, well that sounds like a good way to go. But now we talked about bariatric surgery, and you also do something called metabolic surgery. What? I never even heard of that.
Well, metabolic surgery is essentially the evolution of bariatric surgery.
Cool.
Before, bariatric surgery was, making middle-aged housewives thinner. Now,
and succeeding once in a while, right?
Yeah, well, it would work. It would work well, but the problem was that there wasn't much respect in it by the medical colleagues, and also people were wondering if we were doing anything to help. Now the data's come out that not only are people getting thinner, but they're getting a lot healthier. So these surgeries that we call bariatric surgery are improving diabetes, are improving high blood pressure, and actually some of it is weight independent, so not related to the weight loss.
Wow. Now, that's interesting, but not the direction I wanted to go. We see a lot of fat kids out there. What's the story with them and your ability to treat them? Because I got to think that it would be catastrophic if I had to take my child in for obesity surgery, but there are people that have problems that may need it.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're seeing more and more large kids, and probably a lot of it is the food changes, but also some of it's the activity changes, kids not being as active as before. This is a last resort for them, but unfortunately in some kids it has to happen.
Listen, when I was a kid, they opened up the McDonald's at the Sky Lake Mall. They gave away 2 for $1 quarter pounders. I'd take two, I'd ride my bike over there, eat 2, ride my bike back, and play football on the street for 3 hours.
Yeah, but now I don't even let my kids go out alone on their bikes. So, the world has changed, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, I'm an old man, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so we've talked about metabolic, we've talked about bariatric. How does that impact type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, sleep disorders, all those different things?
So we know that obesity worsens or causes about 65 different medical problems. And that's one of the reasons why obese people die younger. These surgeries and losing weight help get rid of most of those problems. I mean, 84% of the diabetics after a gastric bypass get off all meds. It's the only way to get rid of medicines with diabetes.
Now, a lot of older America is having diabetes. We talked about the kids that are, you know, having lifestyle issues or whatever. How about older people? Can your surgery be tolerated and effective for somebody over 70?
So we're doing older and older people now. We've done people up to the age, almost the age of 80, so
wow.
79, and they're doing very well. Actually, we're doing sicker and sicker patients. We've done some patients that need to get heart transplants, but are too big to get a heart, too sick. So we've done bariatric surgery on them, get them to lose weight to qualify for hearts. We've got them to qualify for kidneys after liver transplant. So sick people can get these surgeries as well.
Wow, it sounds like, again, that UHealth, the University of Miami Health System, is just the place to go to get a holistic approach.
Well, we follow through. It's about 95% of my practice. Last year we did about 450 cases. So we have a nice multidisciplinary team where all of us are partners at the university, and so it really helps the patients flow through everything they need.
I love it, teams and partners. It sounds like the place I want to go. Now, let me ask you this. Is bariatric surgery covered by the high insurance that we're all paying these days? and let me ask you another question. Who qualifies?
Okay, so some of the insurance companies cover it, and really it's hard for you to find out. You can call your insurance company and find out, or call the office and they also let you know. We use National Institute of Health criteria, so something called the body mass index, which you can type in the internet and find out what your body mass index is. And anybody with a BMI over 40 qualifies, or BMI over 35, but with diabetes, high blood pressure, sleep apnea. Those guys qualify.
Now, we've only got a couple minutes, and I've got two big questions I want to ask. How are people's lives after surgery, and do you, and again, as a component of that, do you offer programs that help patients adjust? And then I have one other question.
Okay, so yes, we do. We have a good post-op program with support groups for those patients. Their lives are normal, actually more normal than they were before. That's why I love doing the surgery, because you change people's lives. You actually make new people. They come in excited. They thank me all the time. So it's a lot more gratifying than the other types of surgeries we were doing.
Oh, it sounds wonderful. And I guess really the last question I have is, how do people take the first step that they need to take, which I guess is to contact you, or maybe even more than that, internalize that they need help?
That's the first step, is for them to realize, you know what, I've tried everything, honestly, that I can try. It's not going to work for me. And then the second step is to realize that obesity is a medical problem that increases their risk of getting sick or dying. And then for us, I mean, they could reach us out. You know, you have a pretty educated audience at uhealthbariatrics.com, or at the office at 305-856-4385. Either way, they can get a hold of us.
Nestor F. De La Cruz, local guy, made good, another dookie that came back to UHealth. I can't thank you enough for being part of our show and being part of our community and bringing better health to the entire South Florida community and beyond. Thank you again, Nestor, for all that you do for the patients you see and the research you do as well.
Great, thanks, Jim.
All right, we'll be right back after this short break. Make sure you stick around. We're going to have Rodrigo Azpura, who's the only guy I know that successfully pulled off an EB5 transaction. Back after this. Staying alive. You get staying alive.
Oh, there you go.
Oh no, that's why I give them the different music. Everybody gets music for what they do. It's like the guy that plays the organ. It's like the guy that plays the organ.